Hello, hello, hello.
Set it up on something.
On something.
And look at Kenyatta.
How y'all doing? Hey.
Hey,
Hey, fam.
how are y'all?
A little
We're
tired.
good. Yeah, tired but good. How are y'all? How are you?
I, I'm tired too. Like I'm real exhausted today.
Yeah.
I just want to go to sleep, but I already know what it is that time is coming. So hopefully it'll pass through the water. And this one is very special for me because Monday is my birthday. So I'll be
Hey,
fasting for my 37th birthday.
that's
Hey, that's what's
awesome.
up.
You got this.
Yeah. We gonna just stay in here, and I probably am I allowed to grill my bell peppers and stuff during this?
You know,
Would I be able to do that Sunday after the
af-
after we finish the water?
absolutely. You can definitely
Okay.
grill your fruits. We would prefer you not to consume the grilled fruits, like because that's still technically consuming processed foods. But
Okay.
those of us that sometimes we gotta have something warm. Some of us need something
Yeah.
warm to be able to get through it. And so if you have to have something warm, you want to cook something, cook your cook your fruits, because bell peppers and
Okay.
all that are your fruit.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because usually we do like brunch and stuff for Mother's Day or my birthday or something. But I was like, I'm gonna be fasting, y'all. So
That's what's
yeah.
up.
Okay. Good.
How's everyone else? How are y'all doing? I see a lot of new
A lot of
faces.
beautiful people. Hey,
Yes.
everybody.
For those of
Okay.
you that don't know, I'm Ash,
Netta.
and we are the Brontleys. The
The
Brontleys.
Brantleys.
Okay.
I don't even know what none of this is, but we are the
What's up,
Brantleys,
son?
son.
What's up, son? Yes. We're the Brantleys. We're two people in love with the body, in love with healing. We got onto this journey for very personal reasons. I wish that I had, one of those strong, moving stories where I changed my whole life for animals, but I didn't. Like it had everything to do with my health. It had everything to do with my progression, and a lot of things came after that. I would love to speak with you all, talk to y'all. Know what I'm saying? See where y'all at. See how y'all been. What your goals are. What brought you here today. Yeah. So let me start. Let me start. Let me just start picking. Or if anybody want to speak first.
Before she starts picking, we do want to, while we have you on here, um, our apologies for having to
Oh yes, I'm
postpone
sorry.
this fast instead of starting last Tuesday. We just that inconvenience we may have caused because a few people actually did start last Tuesday, so we tried to help them while we could. But we're deeply apologetic about that. We were on set, and that was literally a 26-day shoot. It took up all of April, and we didn't wrap until Saturday. Saturday night is when we wrapped, and so we kind of came back home and then got straight to this and trying to update you all and get it started today. But again, we apologize.
For that
Yeah,
inconvenience.
sorry
That
about that.
inconvenience. But yes, we own it now, baby. We in there like swim well. Let's see who gonna go first. Brett, is that how you say your name? Brett. Hey boo.
Is this your first time fasting? What are your
I'm
goals?
on mute.
What brings
Now
you?
I'm off mute. I'm good.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Glad to meet you.
Glad to meet you too.
Is this
This
your
is my
first?
first time.
Hey.
Um, I'm doing it for health purposes. Um, I actually found out that I have a golf tournament on Saturday that I signed up for like 3 months ago.
Oh.
Forgot about it. So I started my fast on Sunday, and I've just been following the days. Like Tuesday was Sunday, Wednesday was yesterday.
So
Um,
tomorrow would be your day one of your water fast,
yeah,
or if you've ate whatever the last time you ate today, would you're technically already on your water fasting portion if you do not intend to eat anything else. So that's a good way to do. I'm glad you kind of went along with the what did
mm,
you say it
What?
the
Proposed schedule?
yeah, that. I'm glad you went
Mm,
along with that because you can do it anyway. That the whole reason as to why we start on Tuesdays is typically because everybody, the majority of the masses, they tend to be off on weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And since Friday, Saturday, and Sundays are typically those days where we tend to be off from work or we get to relax a little bit more than we do during the week. That's why days four,
mm.
5, and 6 are the water day portion. So,
But that could
That
be
makes sense. I work from home.
dope.
I work from home and I'm always on Zoom meetings like I am right now. That's actually like what I do all day pretty much. Um, and that was actually going to be one of the questions that I did have. I already paid, and then I realized my buddy texted me and he was like, "Oh, we have the golf tournament on Saturday." And I was like, "Oh, of course, I prepared for this fast that I want to do, and then I have that, and I don't really think it's smart for me to go play golf all day in the sun when I didn't eat for 4 or 5 days or something like that. So I started a little bit early, and I was thinking, if it doesn't, let's say like I only do like 4 days this week or 5 days this week or something like that, I could at least get the knowledge from the Zoom meetings and I have the document and I could do it like a following week or something like that, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, you can do this whenever
Okay.
it's beneficial for you. And again, like she was saying, most people are, they have more availability on the weekends, but not everybody is the same way. So if it's
Mm,
best for you to do your water aspect of the fast throughout the week, you definitely can schedule it to where it's best for you. We're going to talk today about our process and why we chose the process that we have, as well as get into some information about the actual system that we're working on to kind of help you all understand more so of why we chose to go the route that we chose in regards to this program.
mm,
and
What
another
else?
thing that may benefit you is if you do the 24, even if you do the 72 hours of just water by Saturday, you should, that should be your seventh day. Like you could break your water fasting portion on that day and consume fruit. And it may benefit you in more ways than you can imagine at this moment. But
mm,
then, because at that point you've allowed your immune system to reset, and then you're refueling yourself, but not just yourself, but you're refueling your cells, and then you're going to go out there and golf, and you're going to be active and get to burning glucose and things like that. So, and some of the things that we actually experience, I don't know if you've experienced it yet, considering
mm,
today will be your day 3 of your fruits, but
mm.
you get an excessive amount of natural energy. Bowel movements are increased. You have like the mental clarity. Your focus is typically there. So it actually, you may get out there and kick ass on Saturday. I hope you do.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I kind of need that for my game anyways. I've been playing kind of down, so maybe it'll help me out. But yeah, I definitely feel like this is the third day. Yesterday, I eat a lot. Like this is like the first time I've done something like this, and I eat, and I'm like, I go to the gym a lot. Like I eat a lot of protein and things of that nature. And this is something that I'm just doing for the first time. So for me, it was a big transition, and like the second day, I'm like hungry. But now like the mental, I'm starting to get used to it, and I feel like I had this energy that the second day and first day didn't really have because I was getting it from the food. But now, from what you guys are saying, I definitely feel a difference. But I'm a noob, so I don't know too much what I'm talking about yet. At least
Hey,
that's why
but
I'm here to
still
learn
big
from you guys.
facts. You're
Yeah.
still. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, mommy, I'm in the Zoom. You okay?
But yeah,
Okay, love you too.
um,
Bye.
we'll definitely teach more on the whole process of fasting and how it works. But the energy, the difference you feel is
And
definitely,
energy is real.
it's definitely due to what you've been doing, and now when that you're in the water fasting portion of it, once your body depletes itself of that glucogen and it starts converting into ketones, like you go into the ketosis phase and your body starts making those ketones, which is a more beneficial kind of energy that the body makes on its own, because the body starts making and creating its own sugar. Like
Mm,
it's like go mode at that point. A lot
mm,
of people, they're like, how do I get so much energy, or where did this energy come from? But
And a
those
complaint,
fruits.
a complaint may be the less sleep that you actually get. So, a lot of people that are fruitarian and things of that nature, they consume the natural sugars that the body needs. You're full of energy, and as a result of, you sleep less. And it can be very frustrating because within your mind, you will literally recall how much sleep you used to enjoy, and you will feel the differences between what you used to enjoy and how much rest your body actually needs. And it may be very frustrating at first, but all will be well. I promise y'all that. We're going to get through this, boo boo, because we some no limited soldiers, okay?
Limited
No
solely.
limited soldiers, baby. Everybody else, somebody else, how are y'all doing before we get into today's information? Is everybody well?
Yes, I have something to say. I
Who is
just
that speaking?
This is Sandra Lee.
Hey, it's Sandra. I'm about to
Hey,
try to.
Sandra.
Hey, I'm just like I didn't get his name who just spoke, but I love food. And my kids tease me because they're like, Mom, try this. I'm trying everything, but I won't fully eat a plate of everything, but let me taste that. Let me taste that. And I didn't know how I was going to get through this. I'm a flight attendant. So we pack as much food as we can. And then we're always thinking about our food if we have enough. But I did not miss the food. I couldn't wait to start my fruits, but the water, the good geyser water, that's the name of it, right? Crystal geyser.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was good. I didn't taste any leftover stuff in it. That kept me going. And knowing that I'm doing this, I feel good. I can't do the grapefruit because of high blood pressure and cholesterol, but the prunes and the charcoal, something happened, and I'm having good movement still. And so, yeah, I'm excited.
And we're excited for you, Sandra. Like, when people initially hear this fast, it sounds so intimidating to them. But when they
Yes.
go through it and they actually see how much will, how much fight they have up in them, how much more control, we can have over ourselves. Because, even for us as vegans, sometimes that's our excuse. We've never, like, broke that. We've never cheated on something that was not vegan. But as people that literally, we want and we teach fruitarianism pretty much, the fruits is what's healing. We should be consuming a lot more fruits within our diet. Sometimes we cheat and go to more convenient things. We'll have a Beyond Burger and all of that here and there. So really, these fasts, they just show so much, so much more than how easy the process is, but just how strong and how willed we really can be when we want to be. So that's awesome. We're excited for you. Is your name Aline or Ellen?
Eileen.
Eileen? Is that an I in there? Mm-hmm.
Aileen.
Eileen.
Aileen.
Aileen.
Hey,
Yes.
Aileen. How you doing? I see your hand up.
Good. How are you?
Good.
So I had a question. I've done fast before where just fruits and vegetables and just like brown rice and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done it not while I'm breastfeeding. I'm breastfeeding right now. And I feel like our bodies are very strong. We limit ourselves, and I believe I'll be able to do it. But like in one of the videos the YouTube video about how fasting can save your life,
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned that if you're lactating or pregnant, you shouldn't do the water fast. But he did say for longer than 5 days. So being that we're doing it for 3 days only water fast, would I be able to still do it? And
And
Absolutely.
okay.
She didn't freeze. Absolutely. It's typically, like we were saying, it within 3 days is where your body actually resets itself, and mostly everything that was once stored, like fat and everything like that, is stored
what's that yellow?
your
Hold
cells
on,
and
Janai.
fat, stuff like that. And so once those 3 days are up, now it's like you're kind of pushing it. That's the reason why they say don't do
Yeah.
the prolonged fasting, because at that point there's literally nothing more for your body to pull from versus what was already stored within it.
And the importance in regards to that is when you're breastfeeding, the nutrients within your body is what's also feeding your child. So if you were to fast more than the appropriate amount of time for someone that is pregnant and or breastfeeding, you would then be putting your child in danger because you are not providing your child with the nutrients that they need. And so, in term, you have a lot of people that do prolonged fast. We honestly do not advise anyone to fast for longer than 5 days because at that point you're kind of defeating the purpose of the fast. But for you, what I would honestly do is be mindful of yourself. And one of the things that I like to try to be really cautious and
Hold
aware
on,
of
'cause
is that everybody's body is in a different condition and state. So just because somebody could fast for 3 days while still lactating does not mean that you will be able to. So throughout this process, if you could just please, really pay attention to your body, the differences within breast milk, if you notice any, just the differences within your body.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna like, because I'm basically pumping on demand. Like he's not like I'm not latching him on, so I pump like every 2-3 hours. But now he's starting to eat food because he's 6 months. So I think I can be able to, and I have milk in the freezer because I really want to do this. Like this is more than just my health, like spiritual, like mentally, everything. Like I know I need and I want to do this for the full 7 days, because I mean I've done fast for 21 days, but I've never done an all water fast.
Yeah,
So
it's definitely rejuvenating in so many different ways. So I could totally understand why anyone that understands the benefits associated with this would want to do it. And I wouldn't discourage you from doing it, especially hearing how old your baby is. And it seems as if you may not be lactating as or breastfeeding to the capacity that some others do, because some don't have the milk stored and stuff like that to be able to help them in their time of need. So again, I would just like to, remind you to pay attention to yourself. If you feel, awkward, if anything starts hurting, in an exaggerated way, those are things to really pay attention to. You just have to really listen to your body.
okay.
And ask questions. We are here to talk to y'all. We are here to help you all as much as we can. We are not doctors. We are not medical professionals, and we will never pretend to be. We are two people that have gone along this journey, healed ourselves, and passed along some information that helps somebody else do the same. And that's pretty much what we're doing here. So, please communicate. We are the queens of, that's reasonable. You need to stop, or nope, you need to listen to your body. That's not cool. We're going to stop here. So communicate. Let us know if you're going through anything, and we'll be here.
Can I juice my fruits?
Yes, you can. But I would prefer you guys not to juice them. I would prefer you guys to eat them whole. And the reason that I would prefer you guys to do that is because the sugar composition of the fruit juice alone is enough to spike anybody's blood sugar without the actual fiber that actually helps the body kind of regulate blood sugar when we're consuming those sugary things. So make sure you're consuming the whole fruits
Okay.
with the fruits that you're consuming.
And you can also throw them in a smoothie. You can actually throw some whole fruits in a smoothie. That way you're still consuming the entire.
With the almond milk.
Well, yeah, with the milk that you prefer. We don't advise almond milk because of some of the chemical compounds within it. But cashew milk, if you would like to go that way. Hemp seed milk. Anybody ever tried hemp milk? It's one of my favorites.
I love hemp milk.
Yeah,
I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't do almond or chestnut or none of those other nuts. But I could do hemp milk.
Hemp
and
milk
I love
is awesome. It is
Okay.
so awesome. I love the taste, the natural taste that it has to it. Let that little be the little vegan in me, but I love it. So if you guys haven't tried it, it is so easy to make. We actually have a video. You guys shouldn't have got the link to that video, correct?
Yeah.
All right, to show you guys how to make your own milk. It is so simple.
So easy.
I'm gonna have to question anybody else still drinking milk from the teat of a cow or purchasing your milk from the store. We gonna have to talk about it, okay? Because at this point we got to make sense of it. I want to make sure that I get to hold on, Peach. Yvonne.
And
How do you say your name?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
It's Petra.
Petra. Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna hear you first, Yvonne.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty much getting into this for the health benefits. The whole concept about how it eats away like old, dead cancerous cells in your body really intrigued me. I intermittent fast occasionally, but like basically I'll just like eat some fruit probably around lunch and like drink water all day, and then I'll have dinner. So I've never actually gone past like 24 hours. So that's kind of like a little scary, but I'm excited about it. I'm gonna start tomorrow because I ate Chick-fil-A today. So, but I got all my fruits. I bought my charcoal, my activated charcoal. So I mean, I'm ready for tomorrow.
You got
Hey,
this.
you got this. When I tell you, y'all are gonna be so mad. Listen, listen. Fear, when Will Smith said that fear, like literally, is one of the things that stops people from getting to the life that they want to live. It's fear, like the fear of being uncomfortable, that keeps people from going throughout this program. And it's like when you go throughout this program and you realize how easy it was, you're like, what was I scared of? You know, it's just like when I went, we went skydiving, and y'all, the first 24 hours before going skydiving, I was Googling my butt off, trying to see how many people fainted during, you know what I'm saying, during the transit, hoping I didn't faint, being afraid of the dropping feeling because I hate feeling like I'm falling. And then we actually went skydiving, and baby, that plane, that door opened, and it hit me right then and there. I've never been inside a plane that had a door open, like ever, not even a window. And life got real, baby. That we fell out
Sorry.
that plane, like literally fell out of it, and it was such a beautiful experience. I'd do it again. There was no reason to be scared. There is none. So don't let fear stop you, control you, dictate how well you're gonna do, or how well you're, or how you're not gonna do. You got this. All of y'all got this. Unless we have health conditions that prevents us from successfully accomplishing this program, I am not taking any excuses as to why you gave up, because it's all up here. It's all up here. Who else was it?
Yeah.
Keitra?
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, boo.
Hey.
I just want to say thank you guys for doing what you do, and I like love all your TikToks. And somebody I know, their mom has cancer that's all over their body, and I seen one of the TikToks where they were, the doctor was saying how fasting helps somebody with cancer, and I sent that info right away. Maybe this can help you. So I think it's amazing. I have did a 1-day fast before. I've never did a 7-day fast, but I'm ready. I was excited. Like I woke up this morning, I was like, I'm excited because I can't wait to just get the health benefits and just like cleanse my body. I feel I've been like vegetarian slash vegan for like 5 years, but one thing that I wasn't cutting out was alcohol. And alcohol is a toxin, and I just want to cleanse my body of that toxicity. So that's like my big thing with fasting. I did have a couple questions because I know I emailed and I asked if we could drink tea, and I got an email back that said, yes, you can drink herbal tea when you're doing the fruit fast. So can you drink the tea while you drink the grapefruit, or does it have to be like separate times?
Separate times. Definitely
Understood.
separate times.
Okay.
It's almost like whenever we eat. Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. I just said this the other day. We need to tell this more often. But whenever you're eating, you should definitely give a hot 30 to 45 minutes in between while you eat and drinking, especially drinking alkaline water, but drinking anything for that matter. And it's the same with eating fruits or meals. Like whenever you eat fruit, at least give it 30 to 45 minutes before you go into eating a salad or a steak or anything like that. Like whenever we go out to restaurants and they bring you, your appetizer, or you get something that has maybe let's say steak and mashed potatoes with a side of fruit. That is like the worst thing you could possibly do, is to mix and combine these things that are not supposed to be mixed and combined, because then it causes like excessive amount of bloating, blockage. It's so much going on within your digestive system. Your own organs don't even know how to process all of these things at once, because it's like, whoa, wait, hold on now. Let me tag team the kidney right quick, because let them filter out this and let the liver do it's like it's confusion within the body, even though our bodies are the most miraculous things that we could occupy. This vessel that we're in, it could be our best friend and it could be our enemy. But at the same time, if you're drinking a herbal tea, you want to wait. You don't want to eat, especially grapefruit, citrus, and then turn around and drink a herbal tea. It's like another collision that you don't want to experience. You don't want to experience the bloating and things like that. The whole purpose of the next 7 days is to heal. You're going to
Right.
experience some symptoms, and they're going to be uncomfortable depending on the toxicity of your body, where you stand. Some people may experience pain in the feet. Some people may experience pain in the teeth, in your thighs. whatever the case may be, you may experience pain, you may get the jitters, weakness, nauseous, a lot of different things. All of this stuff is normal. It's literally your body trying to heal itself from whatever it is you may have going on internally that you probably wouldn't even aware of. And I know maybe a few people on here can attest to going to the doctor and you got something seriously wrong with you. When they look at you and tell you, they don't even know what the cause of it is. You don't want to put yourself in those types of situations. At this point, we're telling you we're telling you ahead of time what you're going to experience is completely natural, it's completely normal. If it gets to the point where you can't take it, especially during the water fasting portion, you know your body better than anybody else knows your body. Pay attention to it, listen, take notes of certain things, wherever that pain is coming from. What else?
What if you don't want to eat? I just had a couple more. I know I don't want to hold you up too long because I know other people want to talk too.
Hold on 1 second.
Go ahead.
When it comes to the herbal supplements, because I see somebody questioning still about the herbs. What time should you take your herbal supplements? This even goes in regards to your teas. So typically people wake up too late within their day to actually get a head start on their water consumption to be able to consume tea at the appropriate time that they should be consuming it. So essentially what you would want to do is wake up earlier, and when you wake up, the first thing that you should be consuming is nothing but water. So from the first time that you open your eyes, make sure you get your water intake in. That way, by the time the afternoon comes, you've already had enough liquid fluids within your body in order to be able to consume that tea, because a lot of these herbs can be astringent, and or depending on the kind of herbs you're utilizing or the kind of teas that you're drinking, they can be dehydrating in essence. So you want to make sure that you drink enough water, consume enough water before you actually consume any other kind of fluid. And then,
Okay.
can I drink herbal? Yeah. And no herbal teas on water days only. You can only consume your herbal teas during the first 3 days of this fast. All 3 days of the water fast, you are not consuming anything but water.
You cannot infuse your waters. You can't add anything to them. Just water and water only.
No limes, no lemons, just water.
No oils.
Okay.
Just water.
Okay. So I just got a quick question because I know I don't want to hold you up. I just had 2 questions. So just to elaborate on what you said, because usually in the morning when I wake up, I do water and tea. So that's not smart. I drink water first.
Think of tea like a reward, and that's kind of how I had to get with myself, because I'm a big tea drinker, and so that I can wake up drinking tea, but the reality of, like I said, some of these herbs can be very dehydrating, and so you want to make sure you're drinking. If you can get the key for me is to take your body weight, half in that, and drink that in ounces. If you can get that in before noon, then by the time noon comes around, you have the rest of the day to enjoy your teas and things of that nature, your 2 cups, your 3 cups, if that's what you want to do. But definitely consume nothing but your water, your fluids first. Even for spiritual reasons, like, the holistic healing and living is not just about the body aspect of it, but it's also about the energetic aspect of it. That it's a great thing to actually speak life into your water, consume that water, not necessarily in a ritualistic way, but as a way to set the altitude or the vibrations, the frequency that you're going to be actually on within your day. Starting your day with moments of gratitude, along with drinking your waters, meditating, praying, making sure that you're breathing. These are things that we should be doing before we get into any other aspect of our day. And same thing in regards to vitamins. Most vitamins that a lot of us consume don't necessarily have the advertised or marketed vitamin within it.
Synthetic vitamins.
So I'm very in the air, not even in the air. I'm not for them. When it comes to vitamins, if you were to consume the foods and the things that actually have these natural minerals and enzymes within them, you would not have to take supplements at all. So again, I personally would steer clear of that through this fast. You don't necessarily need it unless you're dealing with a condition or your body is struggling with something. So if there's anything in regards to that, just let me know.
I'm gonna let you go. I just got one more question. So if you don't want to do fruit, do you have to do fruit? Because I feel like fruit to me is like eating. like a fast. So do I, because like today I didn't do any fruit because I'm like, I really don't want to eat. I really, really, truly want to be brave and be strong and like completely like cleanse my body of like anything. So is that a good idea, or would you advise against that?
That's beautiful, but I'd say balance. So the reason as
Okay.
to why we even came up with this program that we have is because of a doctor called Arnold Ehret. All of you
Okay.
probably have heard of Dr. Sabi, but a lot of us don't know where some of our great, our leaders, the Patrick Delves, the people that we follow today, got their information from. So Dr. Arnold Ehret was a guy back in the 1800s talking about the same stuff that we're talking about today. Only instead of him being able to get on Zoom and talk to people that believed in or were wanting to have an interest in what he was talking about, he was faced with prison time and all of that because people thought he was absolutely insane for advising people to stop eating for any duration or period of time. He has this book called Rational Fasting, and within it, he breaks down the different experiments that he actually had on people or practice on people with fasting. And out of that, we came out with a 7-day program. The whole purpose of the fruits is to help cleanse the body. Understand that the body needs fiber, right? Dietary fiber. This dietary fiber is what's going to help the intestines expand enough in order for the digestive process to continue on. Without fiber, you're going to have a very difficult time pooping. You're going to have a very difficult time with a lot of stuff. And so the fiber from these fruits are very, very healing in a multitude of ways. Not only do they have the chemical compounds needed to break down certain bacteria, certain toxins and things of that nature, some of these things they're just naturally healing. They'll help with digestion. They'll help with different things like acidic reflux. They'll help regulate blood sugar. Fruits are so good at regulating blood sugar that it is dangerous to eat fruits and take blood sugar medication at the same time. These fruits are naturally healing within themselves, and what they're doing is assisting in prepping your body to be cleansed. So just imagine a pipe. Everybody just imagine a pipe that kind of runs like this, right? And you put all this kind of stuff in this pipe that breaks up rust, right? It's an old pipe. So you put different little stuff in there that breaks up rust. But the end of the pipe is clogged. So what ends up happening is all of that broken up bacteria, rust, and all of that stuff just stays stuck within that pipe. In essence, that's exactly what can happen during fasting, and this is exactly why fasting can become very difficult for some, and this is exactly why some people get sick while fasting. When you are consuming these fruits or you're consuming these herbs, as some like to consume, you are literally getting the waste, getting the toxins within your body flowing. And if you get these toxins flowing without actually having an exit route, you can actually cause flu-like symptoms and make yourself sick. So the fruits make sure that we open that other route. That fruits make sure that we start getting waste out before we start shaking waste up, if that makes any sense.
No, makes a lot of sense. So Dr. Sebi, I seen him, he used to smoke weed.
Yeah.
Can we smoke weed on the fast or no?
You know what? We are not against the plants that Mother Nature provides. That is not a problem with us. But
If you can, drink it
yes,
as a tea.
because drinking it is healthier than smoking it.
Wow, I didn't even know they had that, but okay.
You can do it yourself. Here come the
Really?
me, girl. Just decarboxylate the weed. You know what I'm saying? Decarboxylate it in the oven. Put it on 220 for
Oh
about an
my.
hour or so, and then you take that out, right? And then you put that into some coconut oil, and then you let that simmer for a little bit. And the THC, the benefits in association with the grain would actually get into that oil, and then you just add that to some Earl Grey tea, some black tea. It'll bless you.
Can you say that again?
I'm not there yet, but thank you.
I want to drink it.
I really appreciate both of you.
No problem. Y'all be careful with that though, because I done made some tea that didn't have me on the flow.
Yeah,
So y'all be careful with that.
And be extremely careful.
You say you put it in the oven?
Yeah, you decarboxylate it. It's called decarboxylation. The decarboxylation process pretty much frees up that THC, in which is what has some of those benefits and everything like that. And so you decarboxylate it, and then after it's decarb, you place it in oil, or if you're cooking with it, butter. And you consume the butter. Just make sure your rations. Make sure you know
How long you leave it in the oven and what temperature?
You know, I think it was like an hour for 220. An hour at 220.
And I can put in coconut oil and then add that to like a herbal tea or something.
Yep.
Mm.
Is that gonna be in the next recipe book?
Hey, might as well, y'all.
For real.
I've been coming up with some awesome stuff. I've tried to come up with tinctures, like marijuana based tinctures. And y'all, like when I say I've created, my only thing is you know, it's experimental. I don't really have anyone holding my hand. And so sometimes you make something that works, and I've never really made something that doesn't work. My only problem has been that's too strong, that's too much. And so you know, just playing with it yourself, because I'm also very sensitive. So what's too much for me may not be nothing to y'all. It's really based, you know, on the individual. So yeah, but my remedy, I use 7 grams. I've learned to use 7 grams as a kind of sweet space. So 7 grams, about a cup to 2 cups of butter, vegan butter, or whatever you're going to use, oil. And then once you you know, allow that to simmer, you store that oil, and you can put it in cookies, you can put it in teas. I wouldn't take it as is, but you can do that as well. It's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe we'll put some instructions for y'all that want to take delight in that down below. But before we run out of time today, I wanted to make sure that you guys began to understand 220 degrees 2 or 1 hour, boo. I want to make sure that we leave with some information about the system that we're going to be taking care of, about the system that's about to change your life. How much do y'all know about the digestive system? Anybody know where the digestive system begins?
In the gut.
In your mouth.
Yeah.
It starts in the mouth.
Where does it end?
It ends at the rectum.
Yes, yes. That is so beautiful. Not often do we get people that can answer these questions, okay?
Well, I'm a nurse, so I'm cheating.
No, that's beautiful. We love it. We love it. So your gut begins at your mouth and ends at your anus. It is roughly 30 feet long, guys. So for those of us that have been living all of our lives not understanding how to take care of the system, understand that you are neglecting a very big aspect of yourself. Your gut holds what we call the second and third brain. Before I get to it, does anybody know why we would call the gut and something within the gut the second and third brain?
I think because you make decisions based on like your gut feelings, right?
That's
like
a
something to that
answer. That is a beautiful answer. That's not the correct one, but that is a beautiful answer. Anybody else? All right, y'all. Well, let's get into it. If at any point anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns, you guys just please let me know. All right. So the gut and the brain, all right? The gut and brain, they have this connection. How many of you knew that your gut and your brain, like the first brain and what we're calling the second brain, was actually connected to each other?
Did not know.
Nobody knew. All right. Well, your gut and your brain communicates to each other daily, okay? And they communicate so much more than just I'm hungry and or I'm full. There is a full-blown a conversation that y'all are not paying attention to. We're not privy to, but we feel it. We know exactly what our body is communicating through what we feel, the different symptoms and experiences that we may have. So let's talk about this connection a little bit so that you guys can begin to understand why your gut is your second brain, okay? The gut and brain are connected through the enteric nervous system, okay? It's abbreviated as ENS, as you see right here, right? The enteric nervous system is what we're calling that second brain. The enteric nervous system, y'all, is the layers of your gut that are lined with a whole bunch of nerve cells. How many of you knew that you had nerve cells or neurons in your gut? I see Ivana. This is exactly what you were just talking about with gut feelings and things of that nature. We can literally feel our inner being, and that in essence is a part of what this is, right?
Then the enteric nervous system are two thin layers of hundreds of millions of nerve cells that line the entire GI tract from the esophagus all the way down to the rectum. So from your esophagus all the way down to your rectum, within the layers of the different organs that consist of this system are two thin layers that actually house and host these nerve cells. The vagus nerve, in which is the largest nerve in the body that has numerous branches in the gut, plays a part in carrying signals from the gut to the brain. So the gut and the brain are connected by the vagus nerve of the enteric nervous system. Now, a lot of you didn't know that your gut created nerve cells, had nerve cells, and you did not know that your gut was communicating to your brain. Nevertheless, the pathway in which this communication took place. So what could be, oh, and this is just more on those layers, just in case you guys ever want to look it up. So the two layers that we're talking about in which the enteric nervous system actually sits is the Meissner's plexus and the myenteric plexus. These are the two layers within all 30 feet of your gastrointestinal tract where these neurons exist. Now, what's the importance of having energetic cells, nerve cells within your body that are meant to carry signals and information to other aspects of your body in your gut? Does anybody ever wonder what could be utilizing these cells? Why would your gut have nerve cells? Nobody knows? This is where we get into microorganisms. Oh, I see you, Yvonne. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say to communicate things that's going on in that part of the body. I'm having a hard time hitting that mute button when you guys ask.
It's okay, but you are absolutely right. They're there to help with that communication. What's communicating?
You are what you eat. The garbage you put in is going to make you feel good or feel bad, or the good stuff you put in will make you feel great. So
absolutely. Absolutely. But what's communicating? The gut by itself can't talk. What is utilizing these nerve cells to communicate to your brain? Microbes. Anybody ever heard of a microbiota? No? Y'all, when I got onto this information, I geeked. When I say I geeked because it validates everything that we're teaching. So exactly what Sandra just said, what you eat definitely does have consequences within your body, right? The good things that you eat can either make you feel good or the bad things that you eat can make you feel bad. But why do the things that we eat have this influence on us? And again, I draw your attention to your microbes, all right? So what is a microbe? What is a microorganism? The term microorganism refers to any living thing that is too small to be seen with the naked eye. This covers a vast array of life forms, beginning with the earliest living occupants of this planet. The term microbiome refers to the microorganisms as a collective. So there's a slew of different microbes within your gut. Collectively, that is called your gut microbiome or your gut microbiota. Today, the microbiome within this world is said to represent more than half of the total living matter on Earth. For those of you that may have a hard time breaking this down, what this right here means is that you are literally only able to see less than half of what the world actually has to offer, or what's actually going on within the world, because most of these living things and these living organisms are microscopic or microorganisms. But again, you have microbes all throughout your gut, all throughout your GI tract. There may be some areas where there are few because of the kind of condition in which that organ is, like the stomach is way too acidic to keep anything living for too long. So some microbes may not exist there, but your colon, all of that, you have microbes that line that entire GI tract. These microbes are what we call the third brain, because these microbes is what actually utilizes those nerve cells, those neurons in your gut to communicate to your brain. Now, the awesome thing that Sandra said is that these foods, good or bad, they do have consequences in regards to how they make you feel. And the reason as to why that is because the foods that you eat determine the kind of microbes that you have in your gut. Did anybody know that? So for those of us struggling with diabetes, those of us struggling with obesity, we're struggling with mood disorders, bipolar, depression, and all of these things, we're not understanding that we do not have the microbes that we need to produce the neurochemicals that we need to feel the way that we want to feel. And more than that, we are eating the typical standard horrible Western American diet kind of things: chicken, breaded stuff, fried foods every day, highly processed foods every day, flour and everything you eat, soda, sugar, sweets. Don't even get me started on the different kind of meats. We out here eating liver, cow tongue. It's just chitlins, pig feet. What them knuckles is. It's just so much, right? That we're eating that causes the kind of bacteria that we don't want to dominate within our gut to dominate. And as a result of, we experience illness. You experience illness from the foods that you eat because of the microbes that you invited into your body via the choices that you made. Does that make sense? I hope so. If I'm losing anybody, please let me know. These microbes within our body, they are responsible for so much, y'all. Once you understand that you haven't been eating for them, that you haven't been living for them, and because of that, you have microbes that are not doing the jobs that they're supposed to be doing, thus you were ill, you are going to be so upset because the game is too easy not to win. There are approximately 10-fold more cells in the gut than there is within our entire body. You have more microbes and more cells within your gut than your entire body, all right? Disruptions within the microbiome, meaning a disruption within the homeostasis. Not all microbes are bad, but there are some microbes that you don't want to dominate, as I said earlier. So when you have a disruption in your microbiome, thus meaning that you have microbes dominating when you don't want them to, this is where illness and disease literally comes from. The increased presence of bacterial endotoxins have been considered as fundamental factors for disease. Anybody know what an endotoxin is? We learning something today. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. So just think about your farts. Think about it. Just think about it like that, right? When you eat something, right? Let's just say you had some beans, okay? You knew you weren't supposed to be eating them beans like that, right? You had some beans, gave you a little gas, okay? You let that gas out, messed up the whole house. The kids don't want to eat their food no more, all of that. Same thing happens with bacteria, okay? The things that these bacteria excrete or secrete into our bloodstream, into our body, literally become the factors that can cause disease. This is all the more important of a reason as to why you should be mindful of what you eat, as to why you should take care of this system, because it is the system that takes care of you. Did y'all know that the largest immune organ that you have within your body is your gut? Boy, everybody calling my phone today. I am spicy. Did y'all know that the largest immune organ that you have is your gut? This is the very reason as to why COVID did damage, because a lot of us have unhealthy guts. We have unhealthy diets, thus we have unhealthy guts, and as a result of having an unhealthy gut, we have different immune disorders and conditions, diabetes, obesity, and things of that nature. Did y'all know that there were thousands of people that died from COVID all because they were struggling with obesity? Did you know that there are thousands of people that died from COVID all because they had type 2 diabetes? Think about that. You had people that were literally dying from disorders and diseases that they could reverse because what caused it? Food, dietary excess. You know how many people are struggling with hypertension, strokes, and all of that stuff? All because of what they eat. It runs deep. The increased I read that. The bacteria within the gut can create substances that may influence mood and cognitive functions, such as GABA and dopamine. So for those of you that are used to eating sweets, if you've ever tried to go without sweets, you will understand just how addicted to that sugar you may be. Can anybody understand how your microbes could actually influence your cravings? Do you think that you're eating the foods that you're eating because you like them? How much free will do we have? How free are you? The only choice that we have is a choice to is a choice to fill our bodies with something positive or negative. Everything that comes after that is just a result or a consequence of that choice. A lot of the cravings that you experience are not because of your liking to the actual food, but because of the microbes' need for that element, for that substance. Understand that the microbes, they depend on you, just like you depend on it. The relationship is bidirectional, right? You can influence your microbes and your microbes can influence you. Anybody know what cognitive function means? What is your
Is that AKA a parasite? When you say like the cravings, because the cravings, they say sometimes it's parasite. Is that the same thing or no?
Exactly. Parasites are also microbes. They're microscopic organisms.
Okay.
And the awesome thing about this, y'all, is that once you actually steer clear of these things for a certain period of time, you can actually destroy the microbe associated with that craving, thus get rid of that craving for yourself. How many of you have never tried to steer clear from the sweets that you always fall victim to? Every time you get stressed, you got to go towards fried food. Anytime you had a bad day, here comes the alcohol. Here comes the X, Y, and Z. How many of you live that way to where you've never really given yourself a break from the very things that are causing the diseases, the discomfort, the disorders that you're dealing with? It's all your microbes. And I dare all of you, don't believe anything I say. Go and look this up yourself. I am so confident in my research that I'm nearly unshakable in regards to this. Go and look it up yourself. For those of you that consume a lot of yeast, you consume a lot of yeast because you have microbes, a lot of microbes that consume yeast. So as long as you have the microbes that consume yeast and dominance within your microbiome, that's what you're going to want to eat. Not because you crave it, but because the microbes that you got in you depend on it. Call me crazy though. I'm 29. I don't know much.
You silly.
Let's keep going. All right, production via microbiota in the gut. The bacteria within our gut, they do a lot from us. They protect us from pathogens, help us digest our food, produce some of the vitamins and other nutrients. More recently, scientists have gathered evidence that these bacteria may also help regulate our moods, influence our activity levels, and help control weight by affecting our food choices and absorption patterns. This ain't me. These are our medical professionals speaking. Let me make it bigger just in case y'all need to be able to screenshot, read it for yourself, take it home, do what you need to do. Go show your doctor, see what they say. Did y'all know that 95% of the body's serotonin is created in your gut? Anybody know what serotonin is?
Feel good.
That's like the
hormone that helps you sleep.
Yes, it makes you feel relaxed, almost rewarded, happy, pleasure in a sense. That's created in your gut, not your brain. Your gut synthesizes almost 95% of the neurochemicals that's circulating within your body. So for those of us even talking about mental wellness, a lot of people that come here, we want to do this to feel better. We want to rejuvenate ourselves mentally. Could your diet be a part of the reason as to why you feel down?
Yes.
Understand that the body utilizes different precursors such as amino acids in order to synthesize these neurochemicals. The amino acid that the body needs in order to create serotonin within your body is called tyrosine. No, not tyrosine, tryptophan. I'm sorry. Tryptophan. So if you do not consume the foods that actually has this amino acid within it, you will not have that amino acid within your body. Thus, your body will struggle to create the serotonin that you need to feel well. How many of you know somebody that is super depressed, but all they eat is goldfish? All they eat is foods that have no nutritional value. Nothing to offer. This is why you are not eating the things that the body needs to create these chemicals. You are not providing your microbes with the elements that they need. in order for them to synthesize the hormones and the other elements that they secrete in order to help you feel well. A person that is bipolar and extremely angered or easily angered, the only difference between them and a calm person is the kind of microbes that they have within their body. The kind of microbes that you have within your body is going to determine the kind of chemicals that your body produces. And a person that does not have enough of the minerals, vitamins, and all of that needed for their microbes to produce these chemicals will not have them. Thus, they will have a very hard time at being what? Stable. You're unstable, and it reflects within your mood. You're snappy, right? You're easily agitated, right? This is why it's a community joke that you never really find an angry vegan. You'll never go into a vegan establishment and witness what you see in McDonald's. Why? Because our diet enables us the what? The buffer. Not that things don't piss us off, but we don't respond in the same way. Food is not it's not our demise. So you're not gonna make me upset by messing up a fry. That just is what it is. I'm gonna take that different. But a person that does not have these things will have a very hard time with being emotionally regulated because everything associated with their hormones is off. Their communication is off. That balance has been disrupted.
It's right. She just said hormones, and I was just getting ready to say, did any of you know that mood swings and just anything to do with your behavior and how you feel is an hormonal imbalance? Did anybody know that?
Because your hormones
I knew that, or I didn't know that, but I've been researching that a lot lately.
What was that, bro?
Kind of just like with optimizing my like natural testosterone levels and stuff like that naturally. I don't know if that's where y'all are coming from with hormones, but I noticed like when I started to eat more things, more foods and stuff like that were good for my natural levels, my mental state was a lot better than when I was eating things that aren't good for my hormones.
Absolutely. And more of you are going to continue to experience that the more that you continue to go down this route. Understand that people have literally reversed their clinical depression by eating different. By eating different. What you eat affects the way you feel. What you eat affects the way you think, because your food is more than just internal pleasure. Your food is more than just something that you can chew on to make you happy, to satisfy you for the moment. Your food is your body's fuel. If you were eating foods that don't have the fuel and the elements of that fuel that your body needs, you will struggle. And those struggles will represent, or they will manifest themselves in the very different conditions that we experience, y'all. Over 70% of all diseases and disorders is a result of dietary excess. 70%. That means only 30% of people in the world experiencing disease and disorders are a result of a rarity or something in regards to their genetic disposition and things of that nature. 70% of people experience illness, die as a result of illness, all because of what they are eating. If you are not eating the things that are not meant for you, baby, you're going to feel it. And what I love about this time, I always say, people are getting back to nature. People want to get to the highest version of themselves. People want to be the best version of themselves. How you going to do that without getting into alignment with yourself? And what you eat has everything to do with being in alignment with yourself. You don't see the tiger eating a giraffe's food, because the tiger, the giraffe's food is not in alignment with the tiger's makeup. Your genetic makeup is not in alignment with the steaks. It's not in alignment with the pork butt, the oxtail, and all of that stuff, the dairy that we consume throughout our day-to-day lives. And as a result of living that way for so long, people are struggling and getting tired of that struggle. So we are now getting back to what's natural. This is why we push fruits once again. Let's keep going. I'm at 7:56, not bad. All right. So in regards to these microbes, okay, there are some microbes that you absolutely need that your horrible diet could be destroying. And if you caught COVID throughout the COVID season, I want to say it's past. Don't know how the news feel about that. But this past COVID season, right, these past 2 years, if you got sick with COVID and it was kind of bad for you, chances are you're dealing with your dietary choices. So the bad foods that we consume literally can kill off the beneficial microbes within our body, because the beneficial microbes within our body does not consume the waste and the toxins that we are consuming. Thus, they cease to exist. Some of the microbes that are needed that a lot of us don't pay attention to, that we should, because this extends so far beyond COVID, like it touches a bit of everything, right? They're called our butyrate producers. Butyrate is the it's an element that lines the gut, that helps maintain that lining. So we know that the tummy and all of that can be very acidic. What we consume can be very acidic, and we need butyrate. We need this anti-inflammatory kind of element to wind down all the acidity that we may be experiencing as a result of our lifestyle, diet and things of that nature. So butyrate, again, maintains the gut lining and combats inflammation. It's needed for a healthy environment within our gut. Butyrate is the primary fuel for the cells of the gut lining. It has anti-inflammatory properties and stimulates the body's production of different antioxidant molecules. So without these microbes that produce this butyrate, you won't have this substance that does what? Combats inflammation within your body. And anybody that understands sickness understands that inflammation is a natural part of any illness, right? So let's talk. I skipped. Let's talk about these microbes that a lot of people that suffered and struggled the most with COVID did not have. Roseburia, it metabolizes dietary components that stimulate their proliferation and metabolic activities. They are part of the commensal bacteria producing short chain fatty acids, especially butyrate. So this is one of the microbes that produces butyrate. Reduced abundance of this microbe, meaning that for people that do not have enough of this microbe, they may experience autism, they may experience bipolar disorders, they may experience chronic kidney disease, cystic fibrosis, COVID-19, HIV, hypertension, Parkinson's disease, and rheumatoid arthritis. The next one, Faecalibacterium prausnitzii. All right. This turns undigested dietary fiber into butyrate and other anti-inflammatory molecules, and suppresses the production of pro-inflammatory proteins. This was golden. This was golden when it came to COVID. Golden. We put this out as soon as we knew about it, because this was the confirmation that we need. This microbe you would get from your diet. If you are not eating from it, you will not possess it. If you are not consuming the fruits, the whole grains, the vegetables that has this, you will not possess it. It will literally cease to exist, or exist in a very small amount within your body. And people that have a very small amount of this microbe within their body experience everything from asthma to ADHD, autism, chronic kidney disease again, COVID-19 for sure, Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, fatigue, heart failure, IBS, obesity, psoriasis, diabetes. If somebody told you that you could have ate yourself to wellness when it came to illness, would you do better? And if you wouldn't, you got to ask yourself, why wouldn't you? Because it's literally that simple. We had people dying from COVID because they chose. You ever tried to tell somebody to eat better and they almost address you like you said, all hail Satan? like you were just wishing the worst, saying something illegal, something foul, something wrong. These were the main people sick, dying from this respiratory illness. You're not taking care of yourself. COVID destroyed people with what? A compromised immune system. You just learned here that your gut is your largest immune organ. 2 + 2 = 4. I don't know no other way to connect them dots for y'all. 2 + 2 = 4. Take care of your gut. You'll take care of your body's ability to respond to pathogens. It's that simple. Eubacterium rectale. This microbe metabolizes resistant starch and also helps create butyrate. Reduced abundance of this microbe is associated with Alzheimer's, autism, chronic kidney disease, COVID-19, cystic fibrosis, heart failure, IBS, type 1 and 2 diabetes, and end-stage renal disease. How many of you know a mother struggling with a child that has autism? Anybody ever worked with children that have autism before? Their diets are very, very, like, they're very picky. They will only eat and consume certain things. But how much relief do you think parents would know that, you know, if you were to feed your child a certain way, you could help with what your baby's experiencing with that condition? It's literally liberating. And you know why people hate it? Because it's free. I don't get a nickel. You know what I mean? You guys can go and you do this on your own. You heal yourselves. You are the healers of your family. It will be you changing your child's diet. And changing your child's diet, changing your diet, changing your husband's diet, that's not no $1,000 fix. Y'all know how cheap it is to be vegan? Vegan only gets expensive when you want to eat out all day, because a vegan burger is going to be about $17. That's the only time it gets expensive. When you're eating whole foods, you're cooking at home, being vegan is so cheap. We fed a whole family off of $40 one time.
That was like 14 adults, 9 children, whole family kind of thing.
And it was mushrooms, baby. Mushrooms. All right, so what's the bottom line, y'all? The gastrointestinal tract is densely innervated by a network of 200 to 600 million neurons, which comprises the enteric nervous system. This network of neurons innervates all regions of the GI tract and is located in distinct units between either the longitudinal or circular muscle layers of the intestines or in the submucosa as plexi. Again, that's the plexi that we were talking about, the Meissner and the myenteric plexi, in which the enteric nervous system actually rests. The large intestines has the highest microbial cell density. So our gut has a lot of microbes that regulate, control, and utilizes 200 to 600 million neurons that will affect your body, even to the extent to where it alters how you perceive your world and it alters how you think. So by eating the wrong foods, you're literally inviting the wrong organisms to take control of this huge communication channel that you have within your body. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I just was wondering if you had a list to like a food somewhere where we could go to see how we can up our those microbes that we need.
You're doing it. Fruits.
Is it just the fruits? Okay. Just like all vegan stuff?
Fruits,
salads,
vegetables, legumes, fermented foods, polyphenols, in which you're going to actually get from your teas and things of that nature. Fiber rich foods. Fiber. A lot of people don't consume foods with enough fiber. All these processed foods, the process kind of takes away the fiber, if any. How much fiber do y'all think meat got? None.
Facts.
None. Zero. And this is majority what some people eat. They eat meat all day, every day. Foods with inulin, garlic, onions, jicama, chicory root, etc. These are the foods that you need to consume to actually boost your gut health. And you know why these foods boost your gut health? Because a lot of them have the elements that your microbes need. You don't break down dietary fiber. Your microbes breaks down that dietary fiber. It's your microbes that benefits from these things. And this is why so many of these things have, oh, thank you so much. So many of these things have these different benefits. I wanted to talk to you guys briefly. 806, man, I'm going to say get better every year, but I have my moments. All right. So the brain and food. Again, I want to really question you all. How much in control do you think that you are? Any of you in relationships? Yeah. How many of you have experienced your significant partner, like your significant other, just kind of throwing you off, pissing you off amidst your happiest of moments and days? They ever did something to really hurt you? Probably did it one time and you were scared they'd do it again. Or the next time you thought they'd do that same thing that pissed you off, hurt you, whatever the case may be. Your mind brought that up. That trauma that memory of that trauma, do you think that you can really, not that you can control it, because you can, but do you think that you can control when that trigger actually triggers you? It's a yes and no kind of thing. Same thing happens in regards to food, though. For all the women that are on here, your first period, what did your mom give you? Did anybody's mother give them nettle tea when you first had your cycle? Or did you get you got chocolate, you got ice cream? Okay, I got chicken. I needed that chicken in my life at that time. I got all of that. And as a result, what happens is your body remembers those choices, y'all. So the next time that you call yourself going through that same traumatic experience or the same feelings that that traumatic experience caused, guess what you're going to do? You're going to gravitate towards those foods that you knew made yourself feel better. So how much of our dietary choices really have to do with us versus how we feel? This is America's problem. We are eating in accordance to how we feel and not what we should be eating. We are feeding ourselves and not our cells. And as a result, we get everything from diseases, depression, and so much more. Let me draw your attention to your amygdala. Anybody know anything about neurobiology? Anything about the noggin? Anything about the brain? Well, what I just asked you guys in regards to your partner has a lot to do with this, right? So your amygdala, the amygdala is the region of the brain involved in the processing and storage of memories and emotions, right? So a lot of people would say that the brain is like a, what's that word that they use? It's something that finds the similarities. It's something that finds the similarities in everything that will trigger a memory of what you know. This is how the brain can actually function. So when you're going throughout your day, correct? And let's just say boss says something to make you feel down. Now you don't feel worthy, right? And as a result of you not feeling worthy, you go to foods that do what? They make you feel good. They cause your brain or your body to release a good dose of dopamine and all of those other kind of feel good neurochemicals. This happens because of the amygdala. The amygdala storing and literally almost like remembering what you like and kind of putting it in your face whenever it seems as if, you kind of need a dose. So, hey, we depressed. You remember when you ate this? Go to that, because that's gonna give us the dopamine that we need, right? And with that dopamine, we're gonna feel better. Everything's gonna be great. This is literally how the brain works in regards to food. So again, beyond your microbes, a lot of your cravings can do what, or can have what to do with, I should say. And that is the circuitry within your brain, how you've literally been operating for the past few years. Understand that during this fast, you're going to challenge that. And you're going to challenge that by the restraint, by removing these things from your actual diet. Whether y'all like it or not, realize it or not, these 7 days, you're literally getting away from the very foods that may be causing some of the things that you're going through. And as a result, you're literally shifting, reorganizing, changing, and altering the circuitry, not only within your gut, but within your brain as well. So the more and more that you steer clear of these foods, the more that you're not going to want to gravitate to them, the less that you're going to actually want them. With regard to food, the amygdala is responsible for detecting the flavor intensity of a particular food and inducing the desire to eat more. So because an aspect of your brain detected the intensity of a flavor and could recall your emotional response to it, you now have the desire to eat more. This is how food becomes weaponized, because a lot of people begin to desire to eat a lot of the wrong things. This is exactly, to me, the mental and the spiritual pathway to obesity. You are literally attracted to the wrong meals for the wrong reasons. And as a result, you become obsessed and addicted to your supply. It's just like crack, heroin, whatever drug you want to use. It's just like all of them. You can't tell a crackhead that crack ain't good. Y'all ever tried? You cannot tell a crackhead that crack ain't good. They gonna come up with every excuse in the book because they are addicted to this element because of how this element makes them feel. And that's not that much different. Did y'all know that crack, heroin, cocaine, and all of that causes the body to release a lot of dopamine? We're all really dopamine addicts. So because somebody else's dopamine giver or supply is crack and yours is food, what's the difference? You still attracted and addicted to something that means you know well. Let's go to the orbital frontal cortex. This is an outer region of the brain located just above the eyes, responsible for making cognitive process of decision making. So this is a part of your brain that's responsible, right? Responsible for helping you make your logical decisions. The orbital frontal cortex detects how pleasant a food is. So once the orbital cortex gets wind of the amygdala and what it got wind on, now the logical aspect of this whole ordeal is present. Now you have the emotional and the logical aspect intertwined. They're in unison. Bruh, we like this. This is good. Now this is what you go to every time that you feel the need to go to it. Don't let food be your weakness. Don't let food be what controls you. A lot of people are eating themselves to disease and illness. They are dying. Y'all know how many people die from type 2 diabetes a year? Thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Obesity every year? Hundreds of thousands. Cancers. Most cancers, more than 60% of all cancer is associated with your diet. These are lifestyle disorders. Breast cancer being the number one. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Breast cancer being the number one. You will eat yourself to death. That's exactly what's going on with so many people. Because you're neglecting this entire system, you are eating yourself to death. Let's move on. See, what do I want to get into? What time is it? 8:14. Okay.
You say some of the most powerful stuff with so much passion and then like calmly. Okay, let's move on.
I want to make sure I don't want to go past 8:30, so I'm trying to see which info do I want to dive into, because I know
I want to see all that info.
Let me see if I can just go through it quicker. Okay, so in association with the neurochemicals, the neurotransmitters that our body creates, right? And nutrition. There are certain nutrition that causes different neurotransmitters or neurochemicals within our bodies to be produced. We talked about tryptophan, right? Which is the one for serotonin. Let's talk about it a little bit more. So carbohydrates increases the level of serotonin, the chemical that is responsible for calmness and wellness. They also enhance acetylcholine, thus improving memory. So for those of us that literally gravitate towards nothing but carbs, a part of the reason as to why we may do that is because of this boost of serotonin that we get whenever we consume it. Puts a whole nother spin on eating, right? The next time that you pick up a fork with a plate, food, whatever, I want you to ask yourself, why am I eating? Why am I eating what I'm eating?
Am I really hungry?
Am I really hungry? And this is exactly what this fast is going to show you guys, because a lot of us eat for no reason at all. You're going to discover here most of the frustration that comes from this fast is you outplaying your mind. Your mind will be used to you eating by 3 p.m. And when you do not eat said food by 3 p.m., now the brain is tripping. Yo, where's our daily dose? I'm upset. And it's going to try to convince you to fall victim again. It's going to try to convince you to self-sabotage, to sabotage yourself.
Like, if there's any coffee drinkers, try to omit drinking coffee. I just brought that up because you were saying, like, the whole addiction and your body being used to it. And some people wake up like they live by coffee. Some of the people we were on set with, like, they had like 6 to 7, 8, maybe 9 cups of coffee a day.
Wondering why their kidneys hurt.
12 cans of Coke Zero. Oh, that hurt my heart.
But literally, you may literally be experiencing that, or you may be addicted to that because of how it makes you feel chemically. And for a lot of us, that's the problem. Anybody ever been a version of themselves that they're trying to get back to? You ever been more excited about life? More happy and more willing to love? even more trusting and things of that nature. These emotions that we kind of just ward off as emotions, y'all, they're associated with a chemical composition within our body. That's as simple as that. As simple as that get. A lot of us that say, hey, I want to get back to a space where I was more creative. You had a lot more of the neurochemicals within your body that enabled you to get into that space. That's essentially all that it is. And once people understand that you can literally live and eat a certain way in order to produce and generate those chemicals within your body in a healthy way, life changes. Protein rich foods, they reduce the levels of serotonin and increase dopamine and norepinephrine in the brain. Protein rich foods. How many of you guys have men that do what? Consume protein all day, every day. They got it in their drinks. It's a whole protein shake. All they eat is the meats and things of that nature, not understanding why that turns into diabetes and so much more. Protein rich foods literally decrease the levels of serotonin within our body and increase dopamine and norepinephrine. Dopamine and norepinephrine enhance alertness, focus, and mental concentration. Saturated fats can cause dopamine deficiency. Eating a diet high in sodium, saturated fat, and calories correlated to a negative mood 2 days later. The dietary pattern corresponding with a more positive mood included consuming fewer calories, less saturated fat, and reduced sodium. So when people come to us saying, yo, I feel so much better, I can think clearly now, I feel like I can go and do that thing that I got discouraged from doing back in the gap. This is why you feel this way. This is why so many people say it. The fruits within themselves, the things that you're consuming, they're giving your body an opportunity to create the neurochemicals associated with the feeling that you are trying to produce. As you eat more dietary fat, this will increase endorphins, the body's natural high, which gives pain relief and pleasure. Research has also shown that the neurotransmitter ghrelin increases the desire for fatty foods. The more fat in a person's diet, the more ghrelin is produced, and the more ghrelin that's produced, the more one prefers or craves fattier foods. Ain't it the same thing that we were just talking about with your microbes? The more that you eat for a certain microbe, the more that microbe will become dominant within your microbiome, and as a result, you will crave the very thing that microbe thrives and survives off of because it wants to survive too. I wish this was calculus, but it's so simple. I almost get tired of teaching this. It's that simple to me. I almost get tired of repeating it and saying it because it is so easy. When people realize that they've been dying, clinically depressed, taking all these different chemicals that Big Pharma then pushed on you for years for almost nothing, you are going to be pissed with a lot of people. The food-mood connection likely comes from the effects of certain nutrients in foods on neurotransmitters and the things that creates them, and which is what? Those microbes, including consuming the neurotransmitter themselves. There are also important precursors to neurotransmitters that you must ensure you have in sufficient amounts for a healthy brain and communication throughout your body. Hence, the tryptophan that we were just talking about. You don't have enough tryptophan within your diet. You're not getting enough of that amino acid within your diet. Your body will struggle to create serotonin. And as a result of your body struggle to create that, you're going to feel down. You're going to feel unwell. You may not be calm. You may be very moody and irritable. All because you're not consuming the foods that have this. Deficiencies and symptoms. Serotonin, in a reduced amount of serotonin, is associated with depression, anxiety, loss of pleasure. You ever talk to somebody, they don't get excited for nothing? They not happy to live for nothing. They kids, they mama, they spouse, nothing can actually, they're not satisfied by anything. They may not have enough serotonin circulating within their system, and this is reflecting and manifesting within their character and their behavior. Difficulty being positive. Ever tried to bring a negative Nancy up? You damn near kill yourself trying to uplift some people. You ever tried to bring a negative Nancy up? My brother can be a negative Nancy, and man, when I tell you I be having headaches, if it's something that run in genes, I feel like I can get that way sometimes. Boy, it's too much. It's too much. And that's TEWMURCH. too much. It's a lot to deal with. And it's all because they may be a little deficient. Dopamine. You ain't got enough dopamine in your body, baby. You're not going to want to do nothing. Y'all didn't know that? Don't excuse my humor, but y'all listen. You ever seen somebody unmotivated, ain't got a job, don't want to get a job, ain't got a career, don't want to do the things that they said that they wanted to do, even though they kind of do want to do it? Them kind of people ain't got no inspiration for life. Dopamine. Dopamine is the very reason as to why people become sex addicts. For some people, it's sex that helps them release a lot of dopamine. For other people, it may be food. For other people, it may be crack. For other people, it may be marijuana. It may be a multitude. It can be anything. For some, it's exercising. For some, it's communicating. There can be a lot of things that the brain associates with the release of dopamine. But the problem is, once you get involved in these self-sabotaging behaviors, right? So let's just say you know you need to work out. You know you need to go to the gym, but you don't, right? You never go, and instead of going to the gym, you pop in a movie. When you pop in that movie, your body releases that dopamine because the thought of working out within itself challenged you so much, it brought up some anxiety. Now you feel a way about yourself because you know you're supposed to have been worked out and you ain't been worked out. And then yesterday turned into 6 months, and then 6 months turned into 3 years. Now our body is in a space we don't want it to be in. We're depressed. And anytime we think about going to that gym, it causes like this frustration, this agitation within our being. When we experience that, the brain says, bruh, do anything to make me feel better. Do anything to make us feel better. So you pop in that movie, and when you pop in that movie, because it calmed the frustration and the anxiety from thinking about going to the gym, your brain releases dopamine. This is exactly how food deficiencies, neurotransmitters, is associated with even just the manifestations within our behavior. You are not getting up for work. You lack motivation. You're easily angered, have low self-esteem, hopelessness, because you are only chasing the dopamine. You ever picked up your phone and not even wanted to pick up your phone? It's just kind of out of a reflux, like out of nowhere. When you feel bored, you just pick up your phone and you start scrolling. That's you searching for a dopamine release. You're hoping to find something that'll help. Oh, that's funny. Dopamine release, scroll again. That's crazy. Dopamine release, scroll again. You're chasing the dopamine. And you're chasing the dopamine in an unhealthy, unproductive way. And because those unproductive habits, those unhealthy habits, is what the brain associates with the release of that dopamine, that's what you do all day and all night. There are some people that only play games. You can't get them off their PlayStation. You can't get them to do anything serious, because doing anything serious does not help them release the dopamine that they feel as if they need. GABA, G-A-B-A, panic attacks, and inability to calm down. Too much of this will have you literally wired up, easily scared, excessively worried, cold hands and feet, obsessive compulsive traits, tendency to expect the worst, unexplained feelings of being overwhelmed, restless thoughts or difficulty turning thoughts off, difficulty focusing, easily tired or fatigued. Anybody think they got a bit too much GABA? I can say that for myself. Noradrenaline, heart problems, burnout, intolerance to exercise, acetylcholine, poor memory, loss of visual or verbal memory, poor loss of creativity, loss of comprehension, difficulty recognizing people, slow mental responsiveness, poor spatial orientation or clumsiness, difficulty navigating or using directions. Excess symptoms: too much dopamine, getting it from your diet, paranoia, mania, insanity, pleasure seeking, including sexual promiscuity, hyperfocus, anxiety, agitation, hyperactivity, stress. So that one friend we all call a hoe, that one friend that we got that we know, if anybody gonna get out there, she gonna get out there. Mama may just be struggling. She may not have healthy ways to help her feel the way that she wants to feel. Kind of makes you not want to judge people, or me at least. Serotonin, muscle rigidity, rapid heart rate and blood pressure, agitation, anxiety, diarrhea. Again, The foods that you want to eat that will help your body produce the microbes, the beneficial microbes that you want within your body is listed here. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, fermented foods, polyphenols, fiber-rich foods. The foods associated with a disrupted microbiome or a microbiome full of the microbes that you don't want to dominate within your gut, processed foods. And I'm going to hold this here because how many of you make sure that you eat raw at least once a day? Nevertheless, once a week. Nevertheless, at least once a month. A lot of people think that processed foods is just going to fast food. No, when you take your food and you cook it, you too just took it through a process. How many of us are actually eating live and electric foods for the majority of our diet? I see you, Petra. A lot of us aren't. And as a result of, not only do we get this pudge right here, but we get a lot more. We get a lot more than that, right? So red meat, dairy, alcohol, sugar, soy, gluten, eggs, artificial sweeteners, don't care how healthy they say they are. Farmed fish, GMO foods. These are all things associated with the disruption of your microbiome and illness as a result of. The last bit of this is called microendocrinology, all right? So the microbiota that we're talking about here is often seen as an organ on its own. And that's solely because of how much it's connected to. So you just learned about your gut's connection to your brain. Did you know that your gut had a connection to your endocrine system? Does anybody know what your endocrine system is?
Reproductive?
It's a part of it.
Your hormones.
Part of it. Y'all are facts. That's correct. So your endocrine system is a system of glands and organs that are responsible for creating, synthesizing, and excreting your hormones and different elements and enzymes that actually help function and regulate your body. When this aspect of your body is off, and this happens for women all day, every day, illness is the only consequence. Understand that the communication from your pituitary gland, your adrenals, all of that has to be spot on. These things are creating an element for a need within the body. So when that communication is off, the pituitary gland is no longer able to sense some of these things that are circulating within the blood. It's going to produce too much and or too little of a needed hormone that is then going to throw off the balance and the homeostasis of other aspects of your body. It's a domino effect. It's a domino effect. One of the best ways to display that is through obesity. So we all should understand that ghrelin is one of the hormones that makes us feel hungry, right? Leptin is one of the hormones that your body releases whenever you should feel full, right? What happens with a lot of people that overeat is that they are not necessarily eating things with enough fiber, right? So the lack of fiber does not cause the intestinal walls to swell enough for this chemical to be released within the body. So as a result, what happens? More and more and more and more and more of this hormone is created. It's called a negative feedback loop. And as a result of more and more and more of this hormone being created, the receptors of this hormone become less sensitive to it. So the leptin, when it's supposed to travel back up to the pituitary to let the pituitary know, hey, to release this signal to stop eating, the pituitary never senses it. It never senses it. And as a result of it never sensing it, it just continues to create more. And that leptin circulating can actually be stored in fat. Hence the reason that fat can actually become like accumulated within conditions like this, people that actually overeat. It's literally that simple. But understanding where microbes and your endocrine system pair together, more than even just the hormones that I just told you about, is important in regards to understanding what you can do about disease and the disorders that your family may be experiencing and you may be experiencing, all right? Specific changes in hormone levels correlate with the presence of the gut microbiota. Again, remember that your gut creates, the microbes in your gut creates some of these hormones, okay? So without some of these microbes, you're bound to be hormonally imbalanced. The microbiota produces and secretes hormones, responds to host hormones, and regulates expression levels of host hormones. That means that your gut is literally responsible for the amount of hormones that your body may synthesize. One of the dopest, not dope, because cancer is not dope, but one of the easiest ways to show this is with cancer. Breast cancer is the number one of the most common cancers in the world, guys. And 80% of breast cancers is caused by what? Anybody know? A hormone imbalance. Anybody ever told you that cancer was caused by an hormone imbalance? Most cancers, especially when we're talking about breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, these are cancers that need what to thrive? Estrogen. These are estrogen dependent cancers, meaning that they cannot develop without that element. So when you take someone that is hormonally imbalanced because of what? The foods that they are consuming, this is our direct connection between cancer, one of the most common killers in the world, and food. Food. Did y'all know that there is a microbe or microbes associated with the production of an element? Don't give me the line. I know it's in here somewhere. It's called beta glucuronidase. Beta glucuronidase. Hold on. I know I got it in this one. Right here. Just in case y'all need to see it. Beta glucuronidase. Beta glucuronidase. The enzyme that literally reactivates deactivated estrogen within your body. So the average person going through fibroids, cystic fibrosis, cancer, so much more, even for men, colon cancer, estrogen harms men in one of the same ways that it harms women. It just manifests in a different disease. Men are not getting breast cancer, so to say, they're getting colon cancer. And one of the reasons is the very same, estrogen. The foods that you are consuming is causing an excess amount of this hormone within your body. Thus, because of this hormonal imbalance, you are sick. Don't believe anything I say. Look it up. What happens is when the body, our ovaries for women, when our body produces this estrogen, correct? There's an aspect of our body that is a part of the detoxification or the removal of this estrogen. And a lot of that has to do with our liver, right? So once the estrogen gets sent to our liver in essence deactivates it. It kind of wraps it up to where it's not active. If you have a poor diet associated with the bad microbes or the microbes that we do not want to be dominant within our microbiome, you actually may be a part of the reason as to why excess estrogen within your body is even causing disease. There are microbes only associated with raw food, raw meat, undercooked poultry and things of that nature that you can come across with that is responsible for creating this element. So you pair a bad diet, right, that created this poor microbiome full of microbes that's going to take the waste that your body was trying to push out of you and reactivate this estrogen, this waste, this disposed of estrogen within your body and cause it to be recirculated within your body. Now you have too much estrogen going on. Now it's too many hormones. There's too much estrogen within your system. And what happens if that's sustained, if that kind of environment is sustained? For women, that estrogen is stored within that fatty tissue. This is why breasts are a problem for some women. This is where breast cancer comes from. That excess estrogen being stored within the fatty tissue, the adipose tissue in your body. That's literally it. Your diet Via your diet, you've welcomed microbes that literally do things that you do not want them to do. One of them is literally recycling the estrogen your body is trying to get rid of. I couldn't put it in a more simple way than that. And this is the same for men and women. Don't believe anything I say, go and check it out. There's a group of microbes responsible for monitoring the estrogen within your body. A poor diet can literally throw off that microbiome. And as a result of throwing off that microbiome, you're dealing with whatever sickness that manifested from that. Does that sound confusing? I hope not. I hope everybody gets it. I hope everybody got it. Let me see, what time is it? 8:37. I'm gonna stop here. We will talk. Let's go back. We will chop it up about so much more, especially in regards to this fast and more of why it helps, y'all. Because all of the stored toxins that you got within your body, when I tell you that this fast is going to help you take care of this digestive system, and as a result, you're going to feel so much wellness, I kid you not. The autophagy that your body should be going through right now. Because again, when you're consuming those fruits, y'all, like you were literally sparking the autophagic immune response within your body. You were literally throwing yourself into that recycling mechanism where your body is literally eating at itself, getting rid of all the stored toxins and bacteria that your diet and these microbes may have actually created and accumulated, and giving your body a chance to truly experience peace and healing on a whole nother level. I'm not too sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but I'm sure
back off of what you taught. I'm gonna dive maybe deeper into the endocrine system since you touched on a little bit of it today.
And it's gonna help so many of you, because how many of you have mothers that are actually sick, and a lot of them don't know that your sickness and your illness is actually coming from a hormonal imbalance as a result of your diet. How many of you have mothers and parents that you've lost over diseases and conditions you could have reversed? I can't wait to chop it up. My little verbiage has been off all throughout this meeting. I can't wait to chop it up with you all about that. I see you, Yvonne.
Yeah.
There we go. Are these recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
So like after you post it up somewhere, do we get an email after?
We send you the recorded links. If Netta does it, it's typically right after the session. If I do it, just give me a day or so, you know what I'm saying? But you will get the link.
Okay. Just for those nights when I can't make it.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
I do. During the fruit fast, right? Is it a good idea to like do like a sauna during the first 3 days?
Yeah, sit in the sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's one at my job, and I said that I was the next one that I do, I was gonna go ahead and sit in that sauna the one of the first 3 days that we do the fast.
And when you do the same night, when you take a shower, in your shower with the cold water on that same night. Like go
Okay.
all out with it.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
All right. If nobody got any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm going to go ahead and let you all go for tonight. We'll meet you all tomorrow.
Same time, same place, different link. You all should.
I got a real quick question.
Go ahead.
Let's say, like in my situation, if I did end up starting on a Tuesday and then I wasn't able to go all the way until Monday, and like I kind of have a crazy schedule, so like it's kind of hard for me to plan something like this in advance. Is it terrible to, like, let's say, cut one fruit day out and one water day out and do like for a 5-day, or could you only, like, I know you guys really recommend the 7-day, and that's like the thing, but let's say you're in a time constraint, like, can you do something like that, or should you refrain from doing something like that and really only do it when you have the full 7 days?
That's a beautiful question, Brett. And I just want to remind you again that you all are your own healers. There's no way that we could create a schedule that works for everyone. And so it's important for you to know your bounds. Not everybody can do a water fast the first 3 days. And that's just me being dry, honest. There are some people that honestly experience so much difficulty while doing it that they don't make it. And that is okay. You could fast for 1 day. You could fast for 2 days. Just don't fast no more than 5 days, but set it up in accordance to where it's convenient for you, especially during the water part, because y'all, not only is working out and all of that stuff, not only can it be dangerous during the water aspect of the fast, but you could actually go against the whole point of fasting, because the point is to get through all the stored glycogen and things of that nature, to get through your body's reservoirs so that your body can start eating away at itself.
And the beautiful thing about that is, if any of you came, you found us on TikTok, you may have came across the cancer video with the doctor.
That's how I found it.
Dr. Pramdas. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about that is what got a lot of people was the autophagy, and it only takes 24 to 32 hours to actually get your body into the autophagy phase. So you can literally go, 24 to 48 hours, and you're still going to get to that autophagy phase. You can break it with fruit, and then whenever you feel ready, you can go back into another 24 hours of water fasting and still get yourself right back to that autophagy phase. So it doesn't take a long time to get there. We go our max, we go 72 hours, because scientifically, and what doctors and the peer-reviewed studies have shown is that within 72 hours, you can bring your body's immune system to an entire reset and kind of have a do-over for yourself.
And that's because of the kind of autophagy your body hits with prolonged fasting. So intermittent fasting, what we're really doing with the fruit aspect of this fast, it allows our body to enter into that autophagic kind of phase, but we don't really stay there, and it's not as, I would say, effective and beneficial as a prolonged fast may be. So essentially, calorie restriction, and which is what you're doing with the fruits right now, is something that you can do at any point in time. I encourage anybody to try to do this as long as they can. Not the water fasting aspect of it, but the fruit aspect of it, because it's through constantly consuming the fruits that you're really going to build your body up and really get some of those toxins and things out of your body, and really kind of bring your body back to a homeostasis kind of state. The water fasting is just another added level to that. So once you get through the autophagy that the fruits put your body into, you're going to hit autophagy also through the water fasting aspect of it. This is why people lose so much weight. This is why people lose so much waste. This is why people experience what they experience. And so again, you don't have to do the 7 days. You can create your healing schedule to be whatever you'd like it to be. Just make sure it's within reason. And don't be busy during the water aspect of the fast. If you get busy, if you get busy during the water aspect of the fast, it is your responsibility to break that fast, because it is not healthy, it is not safe to be super busy while you're only going off of fumes. Literally.
You will feel it.
Literally.
I think I just said that, but it's that important. You will feel it.
Yeah. So just be mindful of your body. Always listening to your body, because your body's going to tell you when something ain't right. You're going to know.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Y'all was probably like, oh Lord, here she go about to teach something else. I'm not. I was just pulling it up so y'all can see autophagy and stuff like that. This is our actual book that we released just for this. So for those of you that want more information in regards to autophagy, even how to do this fast on your own without us the next time if you want to, we literally created a pamphlet that gave you all the information that we have. It even has links, what you should not eat, fasting for people with diabetes, a proposed plan for people that actually want to go throughout this fast. But again, you guys are your own healers. You can do it however you like. This is just a way that you could do it, a way that we've done it before that has helped other people. So yeah.
I have a question. What is your take on okra water?
On who?
Okra water? I think it's just as beneficial as sea moss water. Yeah, okra is very beneficial. I'm sure if you like okra, you may know some of the benefits of it, but it's just like I said, it's just like drinking teas and things of that nature. You're consuming not the entire, you're not getting the entire like mineral content from drinking the water, but you're still getting a good portion of it.
And okra is fruit, so you're still consuming
Facts.
fruit. It's fruit
Yeah, I
water.
was saying like for the fast, like could you supplement that in there at some point? Like just do some water instead of regular water.
The beautiful thing about healing, y'all, is that you can literally do whatever you want.
I
And
know, right? It's
yeah, would we advise
Not during the
consuming?
water part.
Yeah, not during the water part. If you want to consume infused water throughout your fruit aspect, yes, that's fine. But remember, anything that you consume during the water part, your body still has to break down. And the whole aspect of autophagy is making sure that you restrict your body from the calories and the carbs so that this process can actually initiate itself. The moment that you consume something, you are splitting your body's energy. Now it has to focus on what you're eating and itself, if that makes any sense. And so don't consume any foods, and your body will literally get to a point where it is focused on itself and itself alone. And that includes fruits and things of that nature. So for the water parts, no, nothing but water.
And in case you're wondering, because I know it sounds weird, like it's just water. How is my body having to break down anything I'm just drinking water? But like we've mentioned, like the body is so amazingly intelligent. It knows when something else is within that water, because then once it goes through the digestive process and it hits your small intestines where the chemical absorption takes place, that's where it's absorbing the chemicals and the nutrients from whatever it was that was in that water. So like she just said, it's still taking away from what it could be focused on, which is literally healing and relaxing and not doing anything else. So that's where that comes in at, just in case anybody on here may have been wondering, why can't, we infuse our waters or do anything to the waters. But that's why your body will recognize if there's something within the water that it has to take care of. It's just not going to ignore it like it's sleep where everybody just off the clock boycotting or something.
Girl, it ain't nothing. No, baby, it's gonna know. And understand, while we're on that, just leave you guys with this. Understand that there's a way that you should be eating as well. And this is a big part of our problem too. We are pairing our foods grossly incorrect. And as a result of, we're causing so many problems intestinally. So a great way to think about it is that your body may need to heat up or may have to have a different acidity level in order to break down certain foods, right? And so when you eat foods together that require the body to be in different states of functionality at the same time, you will literally, it's almost like asking one to be put on the back burner while one is being tackled. So you don't want to eat your melons with your berries. You don't want to eat your acidic fruits with your sweet fruits, because these foods require the body to break them down in different ways. And when the body, go ahead, baby.
No, keep going.
When the body, let's just say you ate a melon with a strawberry, right? Your body is going to break down that strawberry way faster than it's going to break down the watermelon. So while that watermelon is kind of sitting there, not necessarily waiting to be processed, but waiting to be completed and really pushed through the system, different gases and stuff like that can come from that, and that's exactly what results in bloating and the excess farting, because it's fermenting within your system. So eating correct, not just eating, is important. So while you're consuming your fruits, again, no acidic fruits with sweet fruits. Subacidic fruits with acidic fruits is great. Subacidic fruits with acidic fruits is great as well. But do not pair acidic with sweet fruits together.
Another perfect example, because we get asked this a lot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with sea moss, but I know some of you are. Sea moss, one of the most beautiful things about sea moss is it expels mucus from the body. It literally, with me, when I take sea moss, I immediately either start coughing or my nose start running. It works immediately for me. Let it be because of just the lifestyle I live. But that's one of the most powerful things about sea moss is that its ability to clear mucus out of the bad mucus out of the body, because the body does need mucus, but it doesn't need an excessive amount of bad mucus. So we get people that'll buy our sea moss gel or buy our sea moss and say, okay, so I got the sea moss and I'm new to it. I was putting it in my coffee and I saw that I can cook with it, so I made some pork roast. Can I put it in a pork roast? Completely defeats the entire purpose of utilizing the sea moss, because if the sea moss is supposed to expel and get the mucus out of your body, and you're turning around and you're putting this sea moss into your coffee, and coffee produces mucus, or meat and dairy produces mucus, it makes no absolute sense. And that sea moss is not going to get that mucus out of the body the way that it could be doing if you didn't pair it with things that goes against the whole totality of
the whole point and purpose of doing it to begin with. You can't be trying to expel mucus and consume the things that create mucus, excess mucus within your body
at the same time.
And that's exactly what happens with meat. And this is exactly why fruits are so beneficial, because they are a part of the foods that you can consume that'll help you get that mucus out your system. When you are not consuming these fruits, when you're not consuming these things, y'all, you're giving your body a chance to accumulate and pile up all the stuff you don't want. And that's exactly where, Dr. Sebi used to say mucus is where disease comes from. And in essence, I think he was part right.
Eric said it first.
Yeah, Eric said it first. Disease can definitely come from the excess mucus, and understand it, or even the excess acidity. The meat and the steaks that we consume, the body has to create more acid in order to be able to actually break that meat down. Hence the reason why meat is associated with those extremely acidic environments, because it calls for the body to create that in order for it to actually deal with it, especially depending on the kind of meat you consume. So again, where were we at before we go on? And it always happen like this. I'll call it at an hour, and then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go for an hour and a half, and then here come 2 hours, and then 2 hours and a half, and we still talking, and I'll be trying to get on there, like, be strict with it. It's just hard. But guys, if y'all have any more questions, comments, concerns, speak now, forever hold your peace. Going once, going twice, 3 times for the 99 and 2000s.
So,
all right.
All right. Love you guys.
Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.
To the upper. Oh, I'm horrible with these chats.
If you just want me to start the upload right when this, just give me your computer. I got you.
All right. Let me get up off this thing. I'm horrible with the chat, so I was just kind of trying to get in there, see if I missed anything.
Not only are you still screen sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's taking me a moment. Let's stop the share. Stop the share. All right, y'all. We going for real. Deuces. Okay. And then I take all along and doing it. I'm so